Hey, how you doing? So, in this video, I want to talk to you about inspiration, where I get it from, and try to figure out where you get it from, and where it can be found in the most peculiar places. So, sit back, grab yourself a coffee, maybe a biscuit, and enjoy. Cheers. Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to another video here at Benham Media. It's an absolute pleasure to see each and every single one of you here today, and thank you so much for clicking on my thumbnail. It means a lot to have you guys watch my videos. And yeah, so inspiration it's huge when it comes to a creator. It is massive. It's such an important part of my process. I don't know how it is for you guys. I don't know how you get the sort of the energy or the ideas to do what you do. Even if you are a seasoned pro, or if you're just starting out, or even if you've not even yet picked up your camera and started shooting, to try and get that inspiration and that drive to carry on. Because I've been doing YouTube for 3 years now, and I've pretty much produced a video every single week. And to always try to find ideas, something to try to sort of like tickle your interests every single week is, a challenge. It is a challenge. And I inspire to be like other YouTubers who continue to do this for the long run. And that is my sort of main aim. That's my main goal for this channel, to try to carry on making content that you guys enjoy, that you guys want to carry on watching, that you show an interest in what I do, both on this platform and on other platforms. So I spend an awful lot of my time scrolling social media, reading articles, watching YouTube, and try to be inspired by other creators or by other ideas to try to sort of, not necessarily copy them, but try to sort of mold them into my own idea, and then try to sort of either recreate what they are doing in my own image, or to try to sort of come up with a new way of showing the same thing. And what I mean by the second part of it, at the end of the day, my main sort of bread and butter work at the moment, and what I find a lot of interest in, is street photography. Now, London is 2,000 years old. It has millions of sort of tourists every single week. There are probably hundreds upon thousands of photographers in London, and we are all shooting the same streets. But it's about trying to find your own niche, your own way of looking at these streets, to try to inspire yourself to try to take photographs of St Paul's or Big Ben or the Tower of London or Tower Bridge in your own manner. Yeah, of course we're going to sort of like see something on Instagram and go, that looks awesome. So you go out and then you try to find that location and you try to sort of shoot it, but try to make it a little bit different, or you try to mimic a shot that you saw, which I have done in the past. I have sourced out a location which I liked, and I have gone there and I have shot from that particular location. Now, a lot of the changes that you can have is obviously in your edit. You can edit it differently, and you can put your own sort of creative stamp on this particular sort of photograph or this image or this building. But I'm guilty of this. I'm guilty of it definitely last year. Is that I looked at this city and went, well, I've taken that photograph, I've done this. I was an idiot to start thinking that I can start sharing my work on some forms and platforms within social media, where you've just got a bunch of people who want to be keyboard bullies and just sort of, oh, well done, you've never pictured St Paul's, and that can really lower your confidence. So what I've ended up doing is that I've obviously cut that side of it out of my sort of creative process, that I don't share on these sort of groups or anything like that, because quite frankly, I don't need that type of negativity. If you don't like the photograph, you can just keep on scrolling. You don't need to be nasty in the comments. But how do you get out of that rut? How do you try to find the inspiration to sort of go out into the same space with the same sort of mind space to try to continue. Now, in my own personal opinion, I do believe that you can find beauty anywhere. Like, there are definitely photographers who find the beauty within the ugly. And as I have tried to develop as a photographer, I have sort of grown sort of more interests when it comes to looking at the beauty within the ugly. And what I mean by that is that instead of going to St Paul's Cathedral, for example, if you follow me along enough, you know that St Paul's is probably my favourite building within the capital. I have hundreds of photographs of this building, probably too many that I really need to sort of like, you know, it might start getting a sort of a restraining order against me, because it's like, seriously Nathan, you need to back off. But as I've sort of grown as a photographer, as I've watched other photographers and other creators and other YouTubers, I've learned to sort of adapt the way that I approach street photography. I used to be terrified at taking photographs of people. I felt that I was being very intrusive. I felt that, you know, unless I have their permission, I shouldn't take their photographs. But as I have drawn inspiration from other creators, other photographers, people at all different levels, people who do it daily, who it's literally their job, they earn hundreds of thousands of pounds through selling their products and selling their sort of creativeness, selling their stuff online. And I have drawn that type of inspiration, and I have jumped a hurdle towards the end of last year. That's the sort of thing that springboarded me once again to want to go out and start taking photographs again, because I stopped that sort of like nervousness, that sort of my own negativity, to sit there and go, right, oh, I'm going to take a picture of this building instead of taking this picture of this wonderful, never going to happen again scenario that's unfolding in front of me. Yeah, there are times when someone's looked up at me and went, what are you up to? What are you doing? Can you not do that? And you're like, yeah, mate, I'm sorry, no worries at all. And then, you know, you can delete your photograph, show them that you've done it, and, you know, you can sort of move on. But 9 times out of 10, they don't care. They're in a public space. They might expect to have a photograph taken. Like, everyone has a camera on them nowadays. So, you know, the thought of that you're not going to get photobombed at some point, you know, I think we're just becoming used to it in a modern era. But something for me as well when it comes to inspiration is to sort of look what my friends are doing, to look at the photographers that I admire doing, you know, like the big ones, Peter McKinnon, Chris Howe, to sort of like the guys who are my group, the Victorias, the Joes, the Bryans. These people inspire me. When you look at the larger creatives in the world, where, you know, if they put up a video, you're guaranteed to go and watch it. Now, I watched Peter McKinnon's recent video and I found it very, very fascinating, but it was just about a guy building a fire. And it's just sort of like, that's his new brand. That's how he's now developed, but it was a silent video. And probably as a filmmaker, I found it a lot more interesting than what Phoenix done, who was just sort of sitting and going, what the heck is this? But that's not even Peter McKinnon in the video. You know, are they doing it for the likes? Are they doing it for the attention? Or are they just doing it because it's what they enjoy? And at the end of the day, if you're not enjoying what you are creating, then you need to take a pause. Definitely, without a doubt. But then I look at towards the people who I know, the people who are sort of I class as my friends online, who I meet in town and I hook up and we take photographs together, we walk around the city, and it's sort of like, are they doing it for the likes? Or are they doing it for the sheer fact that it's their pleasure? And, you know, for that sort of like shrug it. Nah, who gives a damn? If they don't like my content, they don't like it. I like it. And they draw inspiration from that type of mindset, that type of sort of like thinking of like, I should stop trying to worry about what other people want from me or expect from me and just do what I enjoy. So again, that is the inspiration that I've taken from those people. I look at the higher accounts and the people who are doing really, really well, people who I've seen go from 500 subscribers to over 120,000 subscribers, and I look at them and go, that's inspiring. Because it also shows somebody who has a small account, who has a small following, that it is still possible to carry on as long as you knuckle down, as long as you do the hard work, because it's not an overnight process. And again, that's something else that has inspired me. And I suppose that is something that inspires me throughout the other parts of my careers as an actor. I'm 41 years old now. I started acting at a very young age, and I did expect at some point in my 20s to make it. And I haven't. Sometimes I sit there and go, why? And it gets me down a little bit. But I also have to look at my career and go, I've done pretty well. No, I've managed to maintain a lifestyle that I'm happy with. I spent the best part of 2 years just supporting myself on my acting career with the odd job in between. And I've spent the majority of my life working in bars and restaurants, hoping for the next audition to come through. But I never gave up. I've currently started to put myself in situations where I meet people on sets, in sort of meetups and chat rooms and all that sort of stuff. And then I draw that type of inspiration of, I'm in the background at the moment, but I want to go further. I want to go forward. I want to sit at the big boys table. And that inspires me. That kicks me up the butt. That sort of makes me go, do you know what? I want to go further. And I think if you are struggling for inspiration, going online, chatting to friends, and even attending meetups, going out, meeting up with other photographers, depending on their level, and just having a wander, not even having a plan, because you can walk the streets of London, and I've done it myself, and you're by yourself and you just don't fancy taking photographs of anything. You're just walking about and you're drinking your coffee, or you're sort of like sat down on a park bench just wasting time because you haven't got the inspiration or the sort of like the drive to do it, to get out there. But when you go walking with somebody else and they start snapping away, it sort of makes you want to start snapping away. It's sort of, oh, what are you looking at? Oh, I'm looking at this sort of through that puddle and reflection up towards that building. And you're like, well, yeah, that's the type of photography that I like to do. But because your mindset's not there, you might not have seen it. You might have just walked straight past it. But because you're with somebody else and they're doing the same to you, they're like, oh, what are you looking at? So, well, I've just noticed that if you look through here, you've got a fantastic... And again, those type of moments come from nothing. I think my dad always used to put it is that you never hear a good story that starts with, oh, I had a salad. They always start off with, oh yeah, I fancied just doing this for a bit, and all of a sudden I bumped into so-and-so, and all of a sudden this happened, and all of a sudden like we're on the back of a bus heading to Bristol. It's moments like that which I find inspiring. Some of my best experiences have always been unplanned. You can plan the best times of your life, but because you've put that expectation upon it, it doesn't usually pull off that well. So going to these type of meets and meeting up with people, your mates, someone who's sort of asking you for help with their photography, and you just sort of hang out with them for a day. If anything, it's a great way to be social. It's a great way to get out of your own mind, out of your own head, and just walking about. Yeah, I like the solitude of walking around the streets of London by myself. Generally, I don't feel like I'm by myself because I'm talking to a camera, and I feel like I'm talking to you guys, that I am sort of like in a conversation, that I am hanging out with somebody. And I do get some funny looks, especially when I'm doing my POV and I'm actually talking to my chest, and I'm just sitting there rambling along. I've always been comfortable doing this. Sat in my studio, talking to the camera, that was easy. But going out and then talking to the camera got a bit difficult until I got used to that. And then all of a sudden, I'm now what looks like just walking around talking to myself, when I'm not. I'm talking to you guys. But it's not just street photography that I try to get inspiration from. When lockdown kicked in and I couldn't sort of go out and I couldn't take photographs of anything, I had to find ways to keep my head straight, to try to sort of stop the silence that seemed to be booming around me of trying to sort of get up and do something. So I went online and I found other creators who were in the same sort of situation, and they were like, literally, look around you. Look what's in your house. Look what's in your garden. And then all of a sudden, I found other things to shoot. I found other things to be creative with. And I came up with what I class as one of the best photographs that I've ever taken. So yeah, inspiration can be found anywhere. Yeah, you can walk the streets of London and then you can discover a banger that no one else has had. But walking by yourself, you might miss the odd thing. So meet up with friends, meet up with people, do the big meetups. I want to start making my own. So if that's something that you would be interested in attending, please let me know in the comments below. I will start arranging some of them because I miss the big ones that I used to attend with Sam, for example, who now lives in Australia. So he's not organising them over here anymore, and I feel that I'm missing out on that type of community, because even though he spent a lot of time building it up, I feel because he's left, it's quieting down a little bit, and I miss that. So I want to get inspired to start my own. Now, I might announce that I'm going to do a meetup and no one turns up, or one person turns up. But that's okay, because I'll keep on going, because I am inspired to try to keep a community going. But also, have a look around your house. I took photographs of coffee beans, and I think they're some of the best sets I've ever done. I've taken photographs of crayons and paints and smoke bombs, and it's just keep going. You're not always going to hit a home run. You're not always going to sort of like curl one into the top corner. Excuse the sport references, that's all I could come to my head at the time. You know, you're going to stumble. But the thing about stumbling is that you can always get up, dust your knees down, and just keep on going. But yeah, I think that's it for this one. I'm going to end this video with, if you haven't already, please consider liking this video if you found it helpful in any way. And also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. It means a lot to me. And yeah, let's continue to inspire each other. Until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.